All right, guys, let's move on to a Saturday game. We got the Green Bay Packers are playing at the St. Louis Rams. Both teams 0-1 straight up and ATS this preseason. Packers, they're going to be opening here with 2 straight road games. They were on the road last week, lost 20-16 at Tennessee, had only 267, or they had 294 yards, 146 rushing, and the defense was pretty good, allowing 267, but they lost the game 20-16. Improving their defense is really the big story for this year. Meanwhile, Joe, you got this young St. Louis Rams team. It's kind of year 3 in this rebuilding program under Jeff Fisher. They've been adding speed, they've been adding depth, but boy, when I look at this team, I wonder, is quarterback still their weak spot?
Well, looking at this game, I'll be honest with you, John, both teams dropped their opener. If this was a regular season game, obviously, Green Bay would be a 7-point favorite, but this isn't the regular season. The Pack is slated to take their division and win approximately 10 games. The Rams are slated as finishing in the cellar of their division, winning about 7. And St. Louis did hold their own against the Saints last week. Green Bay looked very flat versus a less than stellar Tennessee squad. I do see more starters getting some action here, and I have to side with Green Bay getting points. I'm not in love with it, but if you twisted my arm, I would have to take the points in this one.
All right, one change that the Green Bay Packers did this offseason, Mike McCarthy, he instructed his defense coordinator, Dom Capers, to simplify the defensive playbook and the schemes. They also have some help in the secondary, which was needed, as they gave up a lot of big plays last year. And that's Clinton Dix in the safety spot. Plus, they had Julius Peppers. He had 7 sacks with the Bears. Last year, they got shut out in that first game and then came back and beat the Rams in this building 19-7. And speaking of coaching staffs, Jim, you know, this Rams coaching staff, they've been under pressure to try and get something out of the offense because they've been so poor the last couple of years. And we kind of saw that last week. They did lose at home to the Saints, but they had 388 total yards. They had 150 yards rushing. And quarterback rotation is kind of a mixed bag, depending on what you think of Sam Bradford. Sean Hill's been around a while, but then you got Garrett Gilbert and Austin Davis. This is a team that is looking to get a win here at home.
Well, the Rams' quarterback rotation, I mean, Sean Hill can play quarterback. He can actually start in the NFL. He would not be a top-rung quarterback in the NFL, but he can start, and he has, and he can play. Sam Bradford's been a big question and a huge disappointment, most of it because he gets injured quite a bit. Now, the other thing is they brought in Jeff Fisher a couple years ago, and at one time Jeff Fisher was one of the leading coaches in football, but at the end of his run with Tennessee, and since he's been with the Rams, I'd say he'd have to be rated as maybe a D or a C minus or something like that because he has not really performed. On the other side, you got Aaron Rodgers. This guy's a superstar. How much he'll play in a game like this? Probably not much, especially since you have dress rehearsal coming up the following week. Tolzien can play. Matt Flynn has had some great outings, and Chase Reddick is also capable of playing. That's a much better quarterback rotation. Yes, they're on the road 2 weeks in a row. McCarthy tends to be an overcoach in the preseason. But you got to really wonder what Sam Bradford's going to do because he really has not performed. Unless he puts up some points, it would be hard to get over the total. I lean to the over, and I lean to Green Bay because of the superior quarterback rotation.
I want to take a lean on the over in this game because I look back at last year's. They played early in preseason. Packers won 19-7, but look what's happened in that game. Rodgers was terrific, 10 of 12, 134 yards, and he was playing without Green Bay's 2 starting wide receivers who were injured. And even the Rams quarterbacks were actually productive despite getting only 7 points. Bradford, 8 of 12, 156 yards. Austin Davis, mobile quarterback, was 8 of 16 for 119. Then I look at last week's game. Boy, the Rams defense, they struggled in last week's game. Big holes in the line. The linebackers missed some tackles. If you like to play totals, this game's indoors. And you have what we mentioned was a new-look Rams offense. And finally, it may surprise people that Jeff Fisher, believe it or not, he's 40-29-1 over the total in preseason. And the Packers in week 2 of NFL preseason, 7-1 over the total.